So what my plan is right now is we're going to start at... Zoom in a bit more so I can find what I'm after here. This is Biggin Hill, right? Yeah, we're going to start at... No, that's Crockham Hill. What am I talking about? Where's Biggin Hill at? Is it over here somewhere? Biggin Hill. Here we go. We're going to start at Biggin Hill. Aerodrome here. Says departure. And kind of what I want to do is we're going to go on a little tour of like the southeast, basically. All around here-ish. That kind of thing. Not going to go over London itself because not very realistic, and my London kind of looks a bit wonky in this anyway when the photogrammetry is not working properly. So we're going to avoid London itself, but we're going to sort of fly around all of this. So we'll start at Biggin Hill, and then we'll probably let's see. Well, there are some handy points of interest here, which is useful. So I guess we'll fly over Maidstone, over the Archbishop's Palace. Oh no, we need to set an arrival. So ultimately, we're actually going to arrive at Duxford here. This is going to be the point where we finish the stream. We're going to arrive at Duxford, so I'll set that as the arrival. And then we can set points along the way, can't we? And these will appear in the GPS in the plane, which will be handy. We'll take some of the pain out of navigating. So add, if it'll let me. Why is the user interface like this sometimes? Add, there we go. So we'll fly over that. We could fly over Canterbury, I suppose. This is not a hard and fast route we have to stick to. It's just sort of a few guidelines in the GPS, really. Let's go see the cliffs of Dover. Don't know what they really look like actually in this sim. I haven't seen them up close yet. Oh come on, just add. There we go. Well, you have to zoom all the way in for some reason. It's really weird. Probably fly up round here past Ramsgate and Margate. Have a look at what used to be RAF Manston. It's now a truck park. I think I can add a custom waypoint, can't I? Yeah, there we go, like that. Perfect. So go up there, and then we'll head over to Southend, I think. Go have a look at Southend Pier. And then we'll probably do a touch and go or a stop and go at Southend Airport itself. Which I've got some scenery for, some freeware scenery I downloaded for it. So add that to it, I think. And then... How do we want to go after that? We could do a stop and go at Stansted, I suppose. And we could go fly over my hometown. If I can find it. It's around here somewhere. Never quite important enough to be seen on a map unless you zoom in. There it is. And is that Sywell over there? No, that's not it. Where's Sywell? There it is. That's Sywell. Because that's my local aerodrome. Then go fly over my hometown itself of Kettering, the Ketto, and then double back, I guess, to Duxford, I suppose. Why is it? It's done that in the wrong order. Why have you? Why? I wanted it to go and then whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter that much. Anyway, that's the vague sort of route we're going to fly today. The K-hole. I've never heard it called that before. Really enjoying the Morrowind randomizer, Iron Man? Oh god, I'm afraid if you just got here, you'll get some bad news, man, because we're not doing that this weekend. I appreciate lots of people have been enjoying it, but I'm afraid I've been getting severely burned out on it. So we're not doing any Morrowind this weekend. I'm just attaching my yoke to the desk here so we can actually fly the plane. You can hear some weird clonking noises in the background. Right, there we go. Duxford at the end of it is going to be the real treat, though, because I have some absolutely incredible scenery downloaded for this place. Because Duxford is very special to me for a whole bunch of reasons. One of which being it was a historic airfield during World War II, which was later turned into a museum and still is a museum to this day, but it's a museum that's also a functioning aerodrome, so they do air shows there, and you can actually do flight training and stuff there, and I did some flight training there in real life. The sole occasion I've flown a real aeroplane was from Duxford here, at the Classic Wings Flying Club, based out of Duxford. And the scenery that some mad lad out there on the internet has made for it from Microsoft Flight Sim is amazing. It's photorealistic and everything. You can walk around the whole frickin' museum practically, and everything is there. It's ridiculously detailed. So I can't wait to show you guys all of that, because we'll get there. We'll fly all this. We'll land, and I'll probably spend the last 20 minutes of the stream just walking around the frickin' museum in Flight Sim. It's really cool. So. Your dad took you to Duxford a few times, probably wasn't old enough to appreciate it. I've been, like, more times than I can count on two hands. I'll say that much. It's been ages since I last went because of the pandemic, unfortunately. But some point this summer, I'm definitely going back again because I miss the place. Interesting how that pop-up doesn't show on OBS, even though we're in desktop recording mode. That's interesting. That's just Xbox game bar thing giving me annoying pop-ups. I don't know how to turn that off. I turned off Xbox game bar in Windows, and yet I still get those stupid pop-ups. How strict has lockdown been in the UK? It was relatively strict to start with back in 2020, and nowadays there isn't a lockdown at all now. But, you know, obviously a lot of people aren't commingling as much as they used to, just out of a general sense of sensible caution. Still don't feel totally comfortable with going to a crowded, you know, cinema. Even now, at the moment, really, to be honest with you. But then I never did like crowded cinemas to begin with, so that's not really saying much, I suppose, is it? Anyway, in case you missed it, this is the plane we're going to be flying today, the Milviz Cessna 310R. It's really, really good. We'll get into all the bells and whistles and features it has when we jump in the plane. It's really good, though. The livery we're going to be using is the one that's registration is Colin, because, you know, of course we are. And let's do this. Let's go. So I've set this up correctly, yes. Yeah, Biggin Hill to Duxford, with a whole bunch of squiggly stops along the way. Nice. After its first introduction in 1954, over 5,700 Cessna 310s were built over a 26-year production span. The 310R was introduced in 1975 and was the last of the line featuring an enlarged nose for more baggage. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I was going to say those ground textures are looking a little wobbly there for a second. Okie dokie. Lovely. It's got a little Canadian flag as well, because it's if it starts with C, it's a Canadian registration, obviously. Plus, I think the Milviz team, the developers who made this plane, I think they're Canadian. So, right. Lovely jubbly. So, oh god, there's a dude in here with me. Can we get rid of you? Bring up the little tablet thingy here. Yeah, be gone. Sod off. Hitchhiker. Alright, cool. So, here it is. This is the old Cessna 310. It's a plane from the 70s, as the loading screen mentioned. So it's kind of old. But it's really cool. I like it a lot. It has a lot of fun features. It's a lot more in-depth than your average, default plane that comes with the sim. And that's kind of the reason I got it, to be honest with you, because it has all this extra stuff. It's got lots of realistic modeling on it. You can break stuff if you do it wrong. You know, the engines work like proper real engines. It has a much better flight model, etc., 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 blah, blah, blah. It has this whole fun feature where, like, it dynamically gets dirty and mucky as you fly it. At the moment, it's squeaky clean. Current dirt level clean. Rate of change, you can change that as well. How dirty you want it to get in a short space of time, but it's relatively clean at the minute. I mean, for a plane from the 70s, it's relatively squeaky clean at the moment. But as you fly it, it gets dirtier, which is kind of fun. Fuel. Let's see. Should we just fill up completely? Just to be on the safe side. I'm sure this thing has plenty of range, though. As a whole fuel system model, because this plane has this whole weird thing where the main fuel tanks are actually the weird tuna tanks on the wings here. And then the auxiliary tanks are the ones that are actually in the wings.
Beyond measure, Outlander.
Been watching your stuff for years on YouTube. Just wanted to express my appreciation since I can't stay for the stream.
Oh,
have fun.
Thanks very much. I didn't quite catch the name there because the font was all weird, but that's very generous of you. Thank you very much. Donator person. That's very good of you. I actually just realised the alerts are in the wrong bloody place, aren't they? Hold on a moment. Let's move them over here. Scale them down a little bit. There we go. Combining power washing with flight sim would be the ultimate addiction. Well, if you say so. Right. Anyway, that was very good of you to do that. Where was I? Oh yeah, we're filling it all up. Yeah, so the auxiliary tanks are the ones in the wings. The main tanks are actually the tip tanks, which is completely the opposite way around to how it is in most other aeroplanes. Which means there's this whole weird thing is when we start up the plane and we get it running, for the first 90 minutes of flight we need to run on the main tanks, or the tip tanks. And then after that we need to switch over to the auxiliary tanks and then switch back again when the auxiliaries are empty and stuff. So it's the whole thing. I might have to set a stopwatch on my phone to remind me to switch it over. But, because that's the whole thing. TCat3, thank you very much for 18 months of subbage. Welcome. Welcome back. Let's see options. Oh yeah, there's options for like what avionics you want in here. You can go with old-fashioned radio navigation and nothing else. You can have the GNS 530, these other things if you download the plugins for them. You can switch out these things for digital instruments instead. I don't, because I don't like them. I like the round gauges. Call me old-fashioned. You can set it as well, the initial state, so you can have it default, so it's like in perfect working condition, factory fresh, is the default setting here, like any of the other planes in the sim. Or you can set it to rental, whereby the plane will be in a random weird state as if someone had rented it before you, like some of the switches will be in odd positions and things. Or you can have it on owned, which is as if you own the plane, so everything in the plane, every knob, switch, blah, 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 everything, will be left exactly as you left it the last time you flew it. And that's why you see some of the cabin temperature controllers and stuff like that. They're all in weird positions, because I left them in that position, basically. Because I've got it set to owned at the moment. I've got the individualization, which basically is, if we go down to status, where you inspect, this is the status of all the bits of the plane and like their current condition. The only thing that's a bit slightly iffy is the spark plugs in the right engine. Perfectly fine, totally airworthy, I think still, but it's down in the yellow now. And when you do the individualization thing, basically, is when you get your new plane, you click individualization and basically it'll randomize all this stuff, because, you know, no real Cessna 310 in the real world would ever be in factory fresh condition in 2022, so they do the individualized thing to give you a sort of random set of, you know, condition parameters for this. Essentially, I've got failures set to very rarely, so very rarely something in the plane might break. Hopefully nothing serious. And that's all there is to say, really. You can clean the aircraft, I guess. There we go, squeaky clean. and we can do all the baggage and stuff like that. So let's see. Passenger / baggage. Don't care for passengers. Do we want baggage? Put some baggage in the nose baggage area, and I think if you do that, if you go outside, it actually has put a bunch of stuff in there. So that's a lot of baggage, actually. Bloody hell! What's with the? What the hell's all that for? Going to a friggin' gigantic picnic at Duxford, apparently, bringing all the food. Alright, so we'll put some baggage in the front, and so you can put things in the wing lockers as well if we wanted to, but I think I'll leave that alone. That's fine. We'll close the doors, get rid of the engine covers, the intake covers, the pitot covers, the wheel chocks, and the control lock in the cockpit here. So now I can actually move this around. Let's see, how good a job did I do of leaving all the switches in the right position last time? I think I did. I mean, these are all over the place, but these are all set to the down position. These are all in the down position. These are all over the place, but aside from that, we seem to be good. About the fuel tanks. Yeah, we're set to the main tanks. Good. That's what we need. Smuggling moon sugar, I guess so. A lot of it, too. What are the things they smuggle in more? Moon sugar, skooma, Dwemer coins, scrolls of Undusi's unhinging, random bits of crockery, and random restore endurance potions. Those are the things you find in smuggler crates, isn't it? Really, generally speaking. Cool. Alright, everything here seems to be set up now. I think we're good. So, let's see. We're at Biggin Hill right now, which is just some, this is the generic default Asobo scenery, so it's nothing really special to look at. But Biggin Hill back in the day was one of the biggest fighter bases in World War II. It was very important, played a big role in the Battle of Britain, etc., etc. Did Biggin Hill, but nowadays it's just sort of a municipal airport, as you see here. Bunch of boring hangars and what have you. To be fair, there's probably in real life there's probably a few museum bits around the place as well and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not a proper museum place like Duxford is. It's also quite deserted, mostly because I have all the AI planes turned off because they're just irritating. And they lower your FPS. So let's see. We want to turn the battery and alternators on. And I'm just going to flick on the avionics for a second. There we go. How's the fuel quantity? Yeah, I can pretty much verify we're full tanks. About the auxiliaries. Yeah, good. Right, flick off the avionics, because you don't want to start the engines with the avionics turned on for complicated electrical reasons. Right, so in order to do this, we need to set the... Are my controls set up correctly right now? They sort of are. There we go, there we go. I have two control presets, one for flying the big airliner jets and one for flying these little GA planes with the little separate sets of levers here. So that's a mixture lever full forward. Props full forward. Actually, and then the throttle, we want to crack that open about an inch or so, like that. And we leave the pumps off for now. Magneto's on. For the ignition, these are set to the main tanks, aren't they? Yep, good. And then we just go prime, start. Nice and simple. And the parking brake is on, isn't it? Yeah, good. Same for the right one. Lovely jubbly. Open this little flap here and listen to it if you want. Very nice. There's a thing in here that tells you the cabin temperature, yeah, it's comfortable and steady. Well, that's good. You can manage all the temperature and stuff down here. If we turn it on to fan, and then open up cabin air, and those, that should be good. Get a bit of ventilation going. Alright, probably should have switched on some of these first. Nav lights, anti-collision, pitot heat, avionics master back on. There we go, lovely jubbly. We got the GPS here, and it's, as you can see, it's already got the. You can zoom it right the way in actually and see the airport, but it's got the route we planned already loaded in there. It also has all of the airspace around here as well as a handy reference. You really need a chart to understand that properly, but that's a neat little feature. I think, is there a declutter button on this thing to get rid of a lot of this useless information? I don't remember how you declutter this thing. Menu? No. I don't remember how to use the stupid Garmin. Never mind, whatever. Alright, see, our transponder is set to standby and 7,000 for VFR. The autopilot we don't need to mess with, and the ADF we don't need to mess with either. How are the engine instruments looking? Everything in the green arcs? Looks like it, yep. Oh, we should lean out the mixture on the ground, actually. There we go. To stop, so we don't foul the spark plugs any more than I already have. Okay, I think we're looking. There we go, just so that's in the green arc. There we go, lovely. Right, cool. We're ready to move, aren't we? Ready to rock and roll, as my mother used to say. Good here, taxi light on, I guess. Oh, the other thing we need is weather, don't we? What's the weather at the moment? We're using live weather, so real world weather at the moment. We can do real time as well, actually. There we go. Real time and real weather. And BGBK, right. The measure at the moment is, let's see, Biggin Hill weather. Wind is 180 degrees at 15 knots, so wind is coming from the south. 15 knots, it's quite chunky wind. Visibility is clear in 99999 meters or whatever. Clouds scattered at 3,800. Temperature 17 degrees. Perfect, really. Nice and temperate. The temperature in here in the UK at the moment is quite agreeable, actually, thankfully. Otherwise, probably wouldn't be streaming today if it was boiling hot. Dew point 8, and then the QNH for the altimeter is 1009. Unfortunately, this bloody Cessna, its altimeter is listed in American. It's in freedom units, so I need to quickly convert this. I need to find the conversion chart. Where is it? Pressure conversion table. What was it? What did it say? It's 1007? (1009), which in freedom units is 2979 apparently. So there we go. Lovely jubbly. Okie dokie. We'll look outside. So since the wind is coming from the south, we're gonna. If we have a look at the GPS here for a second, we're gonna be wanting to take off, heading south. So we're gonna turn around here and then taxi up that way towards that runway. I haven't even bothered to look up a chart because I don't really care. We're not being that hardcore today. Parking brake off. Might be about to eviscerate one of these ground crew people here. With my props. Oh, they've moved. They were there. They're not anymore. No ground loop can start. If you can ground loop a trike, I would be very impressed. Like you ought to get some sort of special achievement for doing that. Tea. Got to love it. Go all the way to the end, because why not? I'm a little bit perplexed by how it's possible that for two windsocks to be pointing in different directions. There's some black magic at work there. Compass in the middle looks mildly annoying to use. It's not that bad. I can use it just fine. I have a little shortcut set up, so I can zoom in on a little bit like that, but honestly it's fine. Much, much easier to use in real life. That's for sure. Alright, there we are, ready to go. Okay, so, lights, camera, action. Lights. Yep, set. Camera, i.e. transponder, set that to altitude. Action would be flaps, but I don't think we need any for takeoff in this thing. Theoretically, you would look out the window to make sure the approach is clear, but because I have AI traffic turned off, we are the only plane in the entire universe. So I know for a fact that it's clear. Okay. Oh, yeah, one other thing. Props to full, mixture all the way to full. And auxiliary pumps need to go on low. Alright, off we go. About what is it, 80 knots, 80 to 90 knots I think is when we left off. So about there. There we go. Nice. Bring the gear up and check this out. This is the thing I noticed on this plane. The little ladder goes up along with the gear. It has a retractable little friggin' passenger step, which is a bit weird and crazy, at least to me. Alright, let's bring the props back into the green arc on the right side there. Bring the manifold pressure back to the green arc as well. There we go. Lovely. Zoom out the GPS a bit. And we're away! Look how detailed it all is out there. It's incredible, man. All the houses and the streets and the little cars driving around and the church over there. I tell you, I've flown over this part of the UK and it just looks exactly like this. It's friggin' uncanny. The graphics and everything and the accuracy of this sim is just, it boggles the mind. I think the only thing I'd say is maybe the trees are slightly too big, but only slightly. That's pretty much it. Aside from that, it just looks photorealistic. Well, that's the genius of it. It doesn't require storage space, because what it does is it downloads the scenery from the Microsoft servers as you fly. So you don't have to store all this on your hard drive like you do with X-Plane. It just streams it from the Microsoft Flight Sim servers, and then, you know, gets rid of it once you're done with it. Bloody genius. If you fly to Germany, you can follow the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Can you, really? I haven't even tried. I haven't even thought about trying that, but that's a great idea. You could go around the Nürburgring in a helicopter. That'd be a laugh. Now, admittedly, you do have to download a bit extra if you want to use the world updates, which is what adds a lot of the unique landmarks and things like that, and updates some of the height maps and stuff, makes the terrain slightly more accurate. There are the world updates you can download, but they're honestly they're not that big. They're like a couple of gigs each or something like that. Just to add sort of unique landmarks and you know, make the elevation and stuff like that a little more accurate. Is it the entire world? Yep, it's the entire friggin' world. It's the whole goddamn planet. It's so fucking cool. It really is. Used to old FSX and this is crazy to you? Yeah, man, it's just a quantum leap compared to old FSX. I mean, it's just, you look back at old FSX now and it's all just sort of like a vague, muddy-coloured brown mess down there, isn't it? Versus this, it's just like, wow. I tell you, like I said, I've flown over this part of the UK in real life, in a small aeroplane like this, and it's spot on. It's completely spot on. Oh, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Back in the day, FSX was amazing. Back in its time. But, yeah. It's nice to... honestly, it's great that Microsoft are back in the flight sim game again, because, honestly, like... I don't care, Xbox Game Bar. I don't want your free stuff. Go away. Anyway, yeah, it's great that they're back doing the flight sim thing again, because, like, the market was really suffering for them not being in it, honestly. You know, pushing the technical boundaries and what have you. Okay, set up some wing views there we go. Oh, I need to set timer, don't I, on my phone? Let's see. Stopwatch thingy. Where is it? Stopwatch start. There we go. Once we've been flying for 90 minutes, I need to switch the fuel tanks over to the auxiliaries. I don't even know how long we'll actually be flying for today. I don't know how long the trip's actually going to take. Haven't really worked that part out in my head. Archbishop's Palace, Maidstone. Right, we're going to fly over our first landmark, apparently. It's out there in front of us somewhere. No idea what it looks like, to be honest with you. Right off our nose, though. Is that it? Oh, no, that's just a church, isn't it? Oh, I think we've just flown over it, wherever it was. Combat flight simulator. Oh, it takes me back. That was the one with that was the Pacific one, wasn't it? With the weird sort of comic book style art in the menus and that. Yeah, man, spent a lot of hours on that. That and the first one, but particularly the second one was really good. Where are you flying to? We're kind of just taking a weird zigzaggy backwards and forwards tour of the southeast of England, basically, but our ultimate destination is going to be Duxford Aerodrome and Imperial War Museum. We're gonna fly around my sort of local neck of the woods. We'll fly even over my hometown, actually, and then we'll land at Duxford, which I've got some really, really incredible photorealistic, like true-to-life scenery of the airfield and the museum and everything. We're going to go down, we're going east at the minute, and then we're going to go down past the cliffs of Dover, up, round Margate, Ramsgate, then over to Southend, then up to Stansted, then over my hometown, and then on to Duxford. So here's the plan. Get up among the clouds a little bit. Because honestly, the clouds in this sim are one of the best things about it. Actually, the way they depict all the weather in that, but you don't get a really good sense of it from down here. Get the nose up trim. There we go. Zoom the old GPS out a bit, there we go. Ah yeah, Canterbury's our next stop. Should be able to see the cathedral, hopefully. Did you get cloud turbulence through the clouds and stuff as well? Yeah, you do. It's got turbulence model, all that stuff. Yeah, the clouds are pretty awesome. I mean, one thing I will say is that the game kind of dials up the dramaticness of the clouds a little bit. I mean, if I look out my window right now, like the sky does not look that dramatic out my window right now. You know, the clouds in Microsoft Flight Sim are always like extra super fluffy and whatnot, and it does look fantastic, but it's often a little bit more dramatic than real life. mean, you can get this on the Xbox, so if you're really desperate. You can totes get it for the Xbox. You can even get, like, you know, joysticks and stuff for the Xbox as well nowadays. It's actually kind of clever the way they've made it work on there. Don't have an Xbox. Well, yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say because my old PC didn't run this sim quite so well. My new one obviously does, but my new PC is a bit of a beast, so it doesn't take up a huge amount of storage space. So you know, it's sort of the same amount of storage space as a large AAA game, I suppose. Let's say Microsoft Flight Sim does. So if you can, you know, if you can install something like Cyberpunk, you can definitely install this. Sheer amount of numbers, screens, values, flight instruments to keep track of, it's overwhelming to you. Well, I'll tell you a little secret. The only ones I'm actually paying attention to are these 6 here. And really, if I'm honest with you, the only ones I'm really paying attention to are this one, this one, this one, and occasionally this one. Everything else is a bit like whatever. In fact, I need to lean the engines out a bit. Lean the fuel mixture so it's a bit more efficient. With the old red levers down there. And basically what I'm doing is I'm leaning it for what's called peak EGT, which is when the temperature gauge is over here, basically at the highest point. That's when it's the most efficient to run it. Doesn't mean the engines run a little hotter. So you can check over here to make sure everything is in the green bands. Oil pressure, oil temperature, cylinder pressure, blah blah blah. As long as everything's in a green band, like, you've really nothing to worry about. It's fine. Right, Canterbury should be just below us. Oh, rainbow! Check it out! It's raining over there. Look at that. You can even see the rain actually coming down. Look at that. How awesome is that? Ah, so cool. Right, we're going to get rained on a bit when we go over there, I think. Alright, there we go. There's Canterbury out the window. You know what? I'm just going to go to the external view for a second here. Where's the cathedral at? Thought it'd be quite easy to spot, but I'll tell you what, no idea where it is. Oh no, there it is! There it is! There you go. There's Canterbury Cathedral. Lovely. We saw the thing. Mission accomplished. Right, let's swing it right and head down to Dover. Oh, I see the problem. Hold on a second. Okay, enjoy this GoPro view, I guess. I had my tracker arse turned on still. How do I fix this? Need to get the... I'm not using my tracker today because I don't really need it, but I was playing some IL-2 earlier, so I need it to sort of... It's annoying. There we go. I need to try and turn it off somehow. Huh? Otherwise, I've got the head tracking going on here, and what's happening is I'm not actually using it, but it's catching some sunlight off the back wall, and the stupid infrared camera doesn't know any better, and it's making the camera in the game move around. God, annoying piece of crap. There we go. It's off now. Kind of left my camera slightly off center, which annoys me, but whatever. No, so it's not a VR headset. It's head tracking. So it's basically an infrared camera that tracks the movements of your head in real life, and it translates it into the game. And I accidentally left it running. And what happened is the IR camera picked up some sunlight on the back wall of the room I'm in right now, and it sort of wigged out. It's not very reliable, as you can imagine. Quite fast at the minute. Plane's starting to shake a bit. We're in the yellow band on the airspeed gauge. So I've been sort of in a gentle dive for a little while now. Oh, there is the port of Dover down there. Never been to Dover actually myself. Not even on a ferry. It was always Portsmouth or Plymouth, I think. I believe that's Dover Castle. Yes, it is. Although I'm not sure it's meant to have a block of flats in the middle of it. That doesn't seem right somehow. The auto-gen just has gone had a bit of a moment there. And yes, there's the famous white cliffs out the window. Looking a bit grey today, aren't they, on account of the sunlight being blocked by the clouds, and apparently the textures haven't loaded in quite properly there, but right, it's Folkestone up this way, innit? And then I think it's Folkestone. Then over yonder is Ramsgate and Margate. Oh, you just noticed the registration yet? I didn't do that. The plane just came with a skin that had the Colin livery on the back, Colin registration on the tail. I was like, well, I guess we're flying that. Only makes sense. Got a list of locations you'd like to fly in this game. Oh, loads. Loads. I flew around Cyprus the other day. Flew around the Himalayas a little while ago as well. Gonna do some flights in the Caribbean soon, actually, as well. You can land on top of Mount Everest in a helicopter in this. I don't know for sure, because I don't know if there are any helicopters with the necessary maximum altitude. So, I forget how high Everest is, and I don't know off the top of my head. I mean, I have one helicopter in the game at the minute, which is the Bell 47, and I don't know if it can go high enough. Because it's kind of an old helicopter. $29,000 feet per hour. Yeah, you probably can't land a Bell 47 on the summit of Everest. The air, it would be so thin. I don't think the engine would actually be able to generate the thrust necessary to get off the ground. There's Ramsgate. Margate is just on the other side up there, and that is the truck park formerly known as RAF Manston. Though I can see they haven't actually modelled the trucks in the sim. As far as I can tell, they've even left the runway intact. Yeah, it doesn't look like that in real life. Game have a Huey? Not one that... Well, I think there might be one available on the marketplace, but I don't have it. Is that a big solar panel farm thing there, or what is that? Or is that a truck park? I'm not sure. Stripped down Eurocopter AS350 apparently. Oh, interesting. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do it in a Bell 47. I flew the Bell 47 on the stream a little while ago actually. We went elephant spotting in Africa with it, which was quite fun. But yeah, you wouldn't be able to land that on Everest. Right, so what we're going to do now basically is we're going to head up across in that direction over the Thames estuary to Southend, where I'm going to... I think I'm going to do a stop and go. I'm going to land the plane. We'll go off onto the taxiway. I'm going to boot up track IR again to try and fix my camera, because you notice it's slightly off-center now, like the yoke is over to the right slightly. I'm going to fix that, and then we'll take off again and carry on. Which, if I open up Valanta, it's not going to work, is it? Alright, I'll just drag it across. There we go. Problem solved. You can see our wibbly wobbly flight path so far. Doodly doodly doo, doodly 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 doo. And we're here right now, and we're going to go up across here to Southend. Right there. And then up this way. That's the plan. See if we can skim along the wave tops right over across East Church over there in the distance. Just for giggles. Anyway, so yeah, tomorrow, like I said, I think we might be, I might start Dragon Age tomorrow. I'm gonna give Morrowind a bit of a break. Getting a little bit burned out on it. It's a difficult thing, really, because the problem is I've been getting kind of burned out on Morrowind, and I really need to do something else for a while. But on the other hand, like, Morrowind is super popular. Like the viewing figures and stuff I get for the Morrowind streams are ridiculously good. So it's sort of hard to give up. You know what I mean? It's like I want to do something else, but at the same time, it's like, but I need the money. You know. So, oh, you can see the little breakers down on the beach. That's so cool. Anyway, a couple of people on the Discord suggested, well, why didn't you do that Dragon Age playthrough you were talking about? Because Dragon Age is like reasonably popular as well, right? In fact, one of my most viewed videos on YouTube of all time is actually a Dragon Age video. So, yeah, Dragon Age is popular. So I feel like that's a compromise. It's something different, but it's also not something terribly unpopular like this, for example. But I did need this today. I really desperately needed a bit of a palate cleanser. How low can we go? This flying super low like this is always really tricky without VR. You need that depth perception to figure out how high off the water you are. POV, you're a cruise missile. Oh man, I love this. I mean, like the southeast English countryside, even it looks gorgeous in this sim. Let alone flying somewhere in the world that is genuinely pretty, like, you know, the Scottish Highlands or Egypt or, you know, somewhere like that, or the Caribbean. If the English countryside looks this good, imagine what you know, all those places look like. Did a flight in Norway actually not that long ago in the sim, and that was gorgeous as well. Norway is very pretty from the air. And pretty much anywhere there's desert, actually, the sim seems to do arid, you know, deserty kind of terrain incredibly well for some reason. Flying across the Sahara might be cool. See, the thing is, I don't know, because basically the way the scenery works is it uses Bing satellite imagery, right? And it downloads it from you know, Bing Maps, essentially. And, you know, then they have a little AI, you know, algorithm that scrubs it clean of anything like clouds and stuff like that, and tries to color correct a lot of it. But it's not flawless, unfortunately. It pretty much, it does kind of rely on the Bing satellite coverage, and for some really remote places, like, you know, the middle of the Sahara Desert, there is like no real satellite coverage, so the in-game terrain looks dreadful. I discovered that a bit when I was flying down in Africa. I flew around Uganda, I think it was, a little bit, and I found there were some areas in Uganda where the ground textures and stuff just really went to shit because the Bing satellite coverage was just really poor. Thankfully, it's the exception and not the rule, but yeah, there are places where it's not so good. And it looks like another monstrous truck park or something down there. Is out in front of us. Another aerodrome airfield thing? Why is that? I wish I could remember where Silverstone was, actually, because we could go see Silverstone. Fly over that in the sim. Because that's in the area we're going to be flying around. What is this we're flying over right here? Is this like an old airfield or something? Kind of looks like it might be. Industrial estate maybe or something, I'm not sure. Kind of look like the pipelines or something down there. And there's the Thames estuary out in front of us. That way be London. We're going this way though. Turn north and fly over to Southend. We're actually going to land and stop at the airfield, in fact. Should get the weather, shouldn't I? Let's see. Get this thing straight and level. There we go, nice. Meter. Southend. QNH 1009, the wind is 170 at 14 knots, so it hasn't changed much from Biggin Hill. Hello, Colin. Come to distract me while I'm trying to land the plane, huh? I see how this works. Let me make some room for you on the desk here, buddy, so you can lie down. And leave that alone, that's not a toy. Let me get rid of this. So we're going to land towards the south, basically. That's all I needed to know. Oh, buddy, don't sit on the keyboard. Oh, God. I know you want to be up here and involved, but can you be involved slightly to the right of where you're sitting now, Cat? Okay, all right. That's fine. You just sit there like that, buddy. The co-pilot has arrived, everybody. He's woken up from his nap. He's still in the mood for snoozing, it looks like, but he just wanted to snooze up here next to me instead of on his box. Cats are weird like that, aren't they? Imagine if I got up in the middle of the night and just decided to move to a different part of the room to sleep in. Like, it'd be pretty weird. I had like a bedroom with like 5 different beds in it. Variax, hello, sir. Speaking of Dragon Age, I believe Variax is doing a Dragon Age playthrough at the minute. How you doing, Veeple? I saw you were playing Thief today, V. I hope that went well. I'll probably catch the VOD for that later, because I friggin' love Thief. Right, here we go. Have I now accidentally managed to find Southend Airport? I think I have. Alright, cool. What we're going to do is I'm just going to fly over the runway and then we'll join the pattern.
We're watching.
And we'll do, like I said, we'll do a stop and go. We'll land, get onto the taxiway, I'll sort the camera out, and then we'll carry on. Thief is amazing. I like Thief 2 a little better, but they're both great. In fact, all 3 of those original Thief games they did were pretty darn good. Deadly Shadows doesn't get enough love, I think. They managed to squeeze some impressive graphics out of the original Xbox back in the day with that game. Right, maximum props, maximum mixture. It's a bit sketchy what I'm doing right now, but whatever. There we go. Let's get the gear out, put the flaps down a bit, 1 notch. Flaps down another notch. Now would have been a good time to have the head tracking turned on. Admittedly, it would make flying this pattern a lot easier, but never mind. We'll manage, I think. Right, just a quick check. Gear down. Yeah, green lights. We're a little low on the approach according to the Pappy lights. That's okay, though. We're just in a wee Cessna. Doesn't matter that much. There we go. Oops. Leaned out the engines a little too much. I keep doing that in this thing. I need to get used to the new lever axis. Just move that out of the way for a second and... There we go. You saw nothing. Looks like we're just going to have to turn around here. There isn't a taxiway at the end, which is what I was kind of expecting. But this is what you get for not looking at the chart before flying somewhere, I guess. I could get up the chart using the Navigraph app in the sim, but I'm too darn lazy, you see. Where'd you park here? Oh look, they've got the Vulcan. They've got the old Vulcan on the side there. Let's go off this way. I want to go look at the Vulcan. Can't see much over the nose right now. That's because the camera got screwed up back there. I'm going to fix that in a second, so I can see where I'm going a little bit. Hold up for a second. And there it is. It's a pretty good bottle of it too, actually. There's a Vulcan you can get for X-Plane, actually, that's actually flyable, which is pretty neat. I haven't got it though. Maybe one of these days. It's a cool plane, though. Shame none of them are flying anymore. Alright, this apron's looking pretty darn blank and featureless, isn't it? So, I guess we'll just park somewhere over here for a second. Parking brake on. Okay, let me figure out this stupid bloody camera then, shall I? Need to launch this again. Need to switch the... There we go. Oh, it's not going to work now, though, is it? Because I closed it while the game was running, and now it won't re-engage or whatever. Oh, crumbs! It's annoying. Is there maybe there's a keyboard command we can use in here somewhere to reset it? Track IR toggle head tracking. I don't know. I guess we'll assign a random bloody button for that. See if that helped. No, not axis Y. What is going on? Keyboard, there we go. Signing controls in this sim is a pain in the bum. Close that. Can we not do this? Stop. There we go. There we go. That's reset it. Brilliant. I've got a handy dandy button to fix that now in future. Finally assigned. Hello, Colin. You're using my mouse mat as a cushion, aren't you? I got one of those, you know, those mouse mats with the gel pad in it to help you if you've got RSI. He likes to just sort of, showing complete disregard for my physical health, of course. He likes to just appropriate the mouse mat and use the little gel pad as a pillow, which is what he's doing right now. You're a cheeky little sod, Colin, that's what you are. No, deadbeat. No. I'm not an incel. So no. Right. Need a cat mat then. Yeah, but the thing is, if I bought one, you could guarantee he wouldn't use it, so... It's sort of just how cats work. Right. Okay. Where were we? Brakes off. Let's roll. Gonna go back around that way and then take off towards the south. I don't know how precisely we're going to get there, if I'm honest with you. I'm just going to sort of follow this yellow line here and hope that eventually it takes us where we want to go. Because I didn't see any other way to go when we came off the runway, so.
We're watching you, scum.
Tommy Boy, thank you very much for 39 months of subbage. Welcome back. Much appreciated. Oh look, they actually put a sign there and everything. London Southend Airport. Yeah, this is some free scenery I downloaded from flightsim.to. It's sort of it's a bit bare bones as you've seen, but it gets the job done. It's a bit nicer than just the regular, you know, out of the box default stuff. You get 2 mouse pads. Can you lie on both at once? Most assuredly, yes. Colin being Colin would take one look at them and naturally assume, oh, thank you, human, you've bought me an extra one. That was kind of you. What's that big old building over there, I wonder? Runway ahead. Well, that's an encouraging sign. Literally. Okay. Let's get those flaps back up, because I totally forgot about those. Mixed to full rich. I think I might have left the fuel pumps on for the entire flight. Yes, in fact I did. I forgot to turn them off after takeoff. No biggie, just a little embarrassing. Gear up. Those, dear Americans, are roundabouts. I can use just the controller on the yoke to move the camera around actually here. these engines sorted out. Let's see, get everything in the green bands. So about 2,500 RPM, 25 inches of manifold pressure. And a nose down trim to level us out. Lean the mixture out for peak temperature, which is about there. Lovely. And off we go that way, roughly. We'll do a little touch and go at Stansted. Then head up towards the Ketto. And then Duxford after that. Then we'll be done. Forgot. Fuel pumps off. There we go. Don't need those in flight in the cruise. Just a main fuel pump fails, then I have to switch it to high mode, but chances of that happening are pretty darn low. Touch wood. What's that building over there sticking out? Scroll up through the chat, see what I've missed. Variax is expert thief, yes. In theory, if not in practice. Much like myself. What is that? So what that is there, that is a building that, or something in real life that has like a, that's very tall. And what the game has done is it's just sort of made its best guess and it's just dumped a block of flats there that is that tall. As for what's actually there in real life, I don't know, but it's probably not a building that looks like that. Could also be an error. There was a funny error that people found not long after this game released, where there was a building in Australia that was like went up into the clouds, just a really tiny thin building that went up into the clouds, and it was because of an error with the elevation data. It was this one tiny little house that the game for some reason thought that was like 1,000 feet tall. Buckingham Palace got turned into flats too, yeah, that happened. I've got the UK World Update installed, so it's probably actually Buckingham Palace now, but yeah, it probably still is a block of flats, actually, if you just install the game without any of the World Updates. It probably is still flats. Yeah, I think they're using OpenStreetMap data. I know X-Plane uses it as well. Ah, right, yes, I forgot. We actually need to veer to the right a little bit here, because I forgot the flight. It's on the menu, it screwed up the waypoint order, so we need to veer right a little bit here if we want to get to Stansted. Off in this direction. Anyway, if you just got here, there's no Morrowind this weekend. I'm not doing a Morrowind stream tomorrow. I've been getting a bit burned out on it, to be completely honest. Those streams have become a bit of a victim of their own success, to be honest, because I've been streaming nothing but that for a while now, and mostly because the views for it have been so good, but actually I'm starting to get totally burned out on it, so... That's why we're doing this today, basically, because I just needed something that was such a complete and utter change of pace that it would cleanse the old palate a bit and refresh my brain. But tomorrow it's looking like I'm going to start a new Dragon Age playthrough. As we discussed earlier, I did a Dragon Age playthrough on the channel, but unfortunately most of it didn't get saved from Twitch, so it's not available to view anymore, so I've been wanting to do another one for a while. I'm thinking I might start it tomorrow. So tune in for that if that's of any interest. At least it's not as bad as Skyrim, Comrade Kit Kat, because I know from experience, if I stream Skyrim, you for some reason, you get the absolute scum of the earth in the chat. I don't know why it is, but it is. Right, there's Stansted, we're coming up right now. Let's enter a right-hand pattern here. Put the props to max. The mixture to full. Up trim, and we'll just whiz it around here for a touch and go, which basically means we'll land on the runway and then take off again straight away without stopping. Right, gear down. Watching the speed on the left-hand side there. Notch your flaps. Going out the side here without having head tracking that allows me to duck and see under the ceiling a bit. But it looks like we're okay. Lovely. More flaps. Please ignore the man with the briefcase leaping out the side door. Pappy lights say we're too low at the moment, but I don't know. Those pappy lights seem a little sus to me. I don't think we're that low. flaps up. And I forgot to put the auxiliary fuel pumps on, but I'm sure we'll live. There we go. Tartar stands dead. Default scenery stands dead, which looks ugly as hell, which is why I'm not stopping. Gear up. Bring the power back a bit. Lean the mixture. Nice. Back to cruising settings now. Okay, so from here, we're going all the way up to Sywell. So, yeah, to the northwest. I haven't given a lot of thought to what character we're going to play in Dragon Age tomorrow, actually, either. The only thing I'm sure of is that I think I want to play a rogue, because it's the only one of the three classes I've not actually played so far. In all my previous playthroughs of the game, of which there have been many over the years, I don't think I've ever touched a rogue, for some reason. Aside from that, though, I don't know. Dwarf Noble's tempting, because Dwarf Noble is just such a friggin' good origin story. But I haven't done City Elf in a while either, so... My first Dragon Age character was a City Elf, I think, if I recall correctly. Yeah. City Elf Archer, but it was like a warrior build Archer. Or was it? No, that was a different character. That was the Dalish one. That was the Archer. I think the City Elf one was a dual-wielding warrior. Start with the first one. Yes. Dragon Age Origins, and then hopefully play Awakening after that. Didn't play Awakening last time when we did the playthrough with Humphrey because he died at the end. So and I didn't really feel like making a new character just for Awakening, so didn't bother with it. Have an emoji on the channel to commemorate his sacrifice, but alas, it was not saved to YouTube, so you can't actually see it. Is it going to be modded? I don't know. I mean, I might install some minor bits, like maybe the dog mod, although I've never been able to get the dog mod to bloody work, honestly. I've tried to use the mod that gives you the extra slot for the dog so many goddamn times, it's never worked. Aside from that, I don't know if I'll mod it very much. I know Dragon Age can get real unstable if you mod it, so... It's a bit like Oblivion in that regard, and I think maybe if I can get away with not modding it at all, I might just do that. Warning, connection lost. Sure, whatever you say, Microsoft. Judging by the fact that everybody can still see this stream, I would say my connection is probably fine. Just the good old Microsoft servers at it again. There it goes, successfully connected. Oh, for goodness sake. I hate it when programs like this just assume the problem is at your end. Like it gives you a little pop-up message box that says, please check your connection. When 9 times out of 10 it's Microsoft servers that are the problem. Nah, that just doesn't get old. Just absolutely picture perfect photorealistic view out the window there. It's exactly what Norfolk looks like. Go away! You could at least give me a don't show again tick box, Microsoft. Bloody hell. Thankfully you can't smell it. Man, I've been to Belgium. Nothing smells as bad as Belgium. Manure smell or industry smell? Manure smell. Just incredibly. I don't know what kind of manure they were using when I was there on the fields, but holy shit, it smelled bad. Even from inside the car with all the windows shut, it was just, ugh, sickening. It definitely wasn't cow shit, whatever it was, because I know the difference. Oh my goodness, please stop it, Microsoft. Fucking hell. Get your servers in order. Maybe turkey. Smelled turkey for the first time last year. Yeah, I've heard turkeys smell apocalyptically awful. Never had the pleasure myself, but I've heard that they really do smell quite pungent. That's weird. Zoom function on my controller stopped working. There we go. It's back again now. What's that down there, right? There's more solar panels. Or something. I don't think they are solar panels. I think it's like... Is that pig farm, maybe? Could be solar panels. Could be a pig farm. Not really sure. Strawberries. Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, it might all be greenhouses down there. That's a good point, actually. GPS screen's just a mess right now. Desperately need a declutter button. Maybe if I just hit clear a few times. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, there we go. Let's declutter it a bit. I don't know. They call wind farms, spaghetti, so... How you doing, Pussycat? How's Colin today? He's in a bit of a funny, grumpy mood a couple of days ago. He barely came inside the house. Back to his usual self now, but yeah. I was starting to worry. That he might be feeling ill or something. But whatever it was, it didn't last very long. How is Colin today? He's his usual rambunctious self, although at the moment he's having his afternoon nap right next to me, right here, next to the throttle levers. If you imagine this is my desk, he's about here. Sounds like an orange male. He's a black cat with a little white patch on his chest. Just a little teeny tiny white patch. You don't see it most of the time, but it's there. If he was an orange cat, I think he'd probably be more of a big eater than he is. Another airfield over there, some description. He's a void kitty, yes. Ginger cats, for whatever reason, especially ginger male cats, they eat like horses. At least in my experience, they just eat for days. Colin, not so much though. He's very easy to get on with in that regard, actually. Like, I used to sort of do fixed meal times for him, but I don't really need to bother these days. He just sort of comes to let me know when he's hungry. I'll give him some food. He'll eat either all of it or most of it, and then that'll be it for a while. Now there's a wind farm. Surrounded by, I guess, more solar panels? It's weird. It's weird. You know, it's like people. Most cats do the whole sort of like I'm hungry all the time thing, and they'll overeat if you don't watch them closely enough. But Colin just doesn't. You can give him food when he's not hungry, and he just ignore it. When turbines have collision mesh, I don't know. I have crash detection turned off. Myself anyway, because I've had past experience where, you know, like I fly into like an invisible wall from a bugged out collision mesh from a building and they just end the flight. So I have that turned off. Right, momentarily we'll be flying over my hometown. Barton Seagrave over on the left, it might be. You can tell we're in Northamptonshire because there's water everywhere. Have a little look on the satellite map in Valanta. That's Earthlingborough on our left, that was. Findon coming up on our left now. Wind farm over there that I'm pretty sure I've been to. A friend of mine, I spent a New Year's Eve there, I think, because a friend of mine was living very nearby. That'll be Barton Seagrave down yonder. And Kittering over there. Northamptonshire, yeah. Burton Latimer down on the left, I think. The Eyes Lodge Estate's up there somewhere. Is that it there? In the distance? Or is that something else? I'm not sure. Might be Wharton. No, we're actually going over the top of Kettering right now. I've just realised. There's the Newland Shopping Centre. There's one of the churches. I'd be hard pressed to find my exact house, I think, but is that the Toller Church down there? I think it is. Sainsbury's over there. That's the big square building next to the even bigger one. Mental how you can pick this stuff out in the sim, it's just ridiculous. Orbiting it like this, I feel like I'm in an AC-130 or something, like about to rain hell on the Newland Shopping Centre. That's where I went to school as a kid, down there. I wonder if the OpenStreetMap data is up to date, because I'm pretty sure that building we're looking at right now was demolished. And the one next to it there, that was built instead. So I think the OpenStreetMap data might be a smidge out of date, but yeah, that's Deeble Road down there for sure. That field down there is where I used to play football as a kid. Ah, memories. Right, let's see if we can do a little touch and go at Sywell. What's the river called? I think it's the River Eyes. I think. Don't quote me on that. River Eisen. No, just eyes. If it was the River Eisen, we would have had to call the Eyes Lodge Estate Isengard. That would have been very silly. full. Props full. I don't actually know where the aerodrome is. I can't see it from here, but it's out in front of us somewhere. Sywell's my local aerodrome. It's not actually the one I've flown out of in real life. I'm starting to wonder if it's even in the sim, actually. Should be. It's got a concrete runway, so... Oh, I think that might be it over there. Yeah. Get out. Might have to be a stop and go here. Get one notch of flaps. Centered. There we go. Yeah, got a bit of a displaced threshold. VASI lights instead of PAPIs, which is a little unusual. Power again. Back up we go. Yeah, it's default scenery, so there's really not much to see, but there is the apron over there. You can even see some of the planes on the photo scenery. There you go. Gear up, flaps up. Going back to cruise power. There we go. Lovely. You fly us to McDonald's for lunch. There's a restaurant at Duxford when we get there. A bit overpriced, but it's not bad. No McDonald's though, so out of luck there, I'm afraid. I think the GPS is going to send me in the wrong direction again because of the wonky way the flight plan loaded in. Indeed, yes. Let me twiddle the course knob around thusly because we're actually kind of going in more or less the right direction now. So there we go, just as a reference. We're actually being blown slightly to the left at the moment, I think, by the wind. If you look directly down, you'll notice that we're not flying directly forward at the moment. So the wind is blowing us slightly to the left. It's a little bit overdone in Microsoft Flight Sim, the wind effect, that actually. It's a little bit, a little exaggerated, but it is still very much a thing. Yes, the plane, the aircraft registration is in fact Colin. I didn't do that. The plane just happened to come with a livery that had the call-in registration. And I thought, well, that's kismet if ever I've seen it. Beef goulash and a bottle of Spitfire last time we were at Duxford. Last time I was there, I had this, I don't know what it was called, I don't remember. It was like it was kind of like a giant sausage roll, to be honest with you. It was like sausage meat stuffing in a pastry with gravy. And it was bloody delicious. Yeah, it is black as well. The colour scheme is perfect. We will have... another 10 minutes or so, we will have been flying for an hour and a half, which means I'll have to switch the tanks over, although, honestly, probably be time to land by then. God, I can't get over how pretty this sim is. Absolutely photorealistic. It's so gorgeous. And this is just boring old, you know, Northamptonshire right now we're looking at. Or possibly Cambridgeshire by this point, I'm not sure. But either way, it's like one of the most boring parts of the world in terms of actual terrain, and yet it still manages to look gorgeous. You just wait until we go somewhere really interesting. Your mind's blown, I tell you. Oh, yeah, we're flying over whatever this is. It doesn't appear to be showing up on the old GPS, this place. So I don't know what its deal is. It's an aerodrome of some sort. Oh! Oh shit, is this Silverstone? Have I accidentally found Silverstone? That would explain why it's not showing up as an airfield on the thing. Actually, no, it can't be Silverstone. There isn't like stands and stuff everywhere. It must be something else. Is that the Top Gear track, do you think? Now that I think about it. Look, they've got the old runway and everything there. There's a real possibility that might be the Top Gear track. On tonight's programme. Yeah. That's Top Gear, you recognise the layout. Well, hell's bells. What a thing to accidentally find. Maybe it's not, I don't know. But either way, it's kind of cool. Like I said, I don't know where Silverstone is. Otherwise, I might have gone to look for that, because that's in this neck of the woods. Used to know a couple of people who worked there. Oh, Top Gear, man. That was peak television back in the day. They the Dave channel. Yes, there is actually a channel here called Dave in the UK. On Christmas Day every year, at least for the last few years, they've done like for pretty much the whole day. They just broadcast all the old Top Gear specials. So last Christmas, I ended up spending a lot of time sat in the living room, eating chocolate, drinking bubbly, and watching all the old Top Gear specials with the rest of the family. Oh, yeah, the Vietnam one was good. There's the Vietnam one, there was the Bridge Over the River Kwai one, which is a favourite of mine. There was the American one they did where Hammond painted "Man Love Rules OK" on the side of his truck, and they drove through the Deep South. That was a classic. But they had American Stig, Big Stig. And I think the last one I watched was the Indian one, actually, the one they did in India. May painted it on Hammond's truck. Ah, I see. It's been ages since I watched that one. And there was the one where they turned cars into boats or something. Had to try and cross the channel in them. Emphasis on try. Oh yeah, the search for the source of the Nile. Yeah, I remember that one. Was that the one with the horses? I have a vague recollection of that. Horses was Burma. Oh, okay. Even there was just even the smaller challenges they did as well, which were quite amusing. Like I remember there was one where they Hammond and May had to race Clarkson to Switzerland or something, but they had to use like public transport, and Clarkson was in a car. That one just stuck in my mind for some reason. To be honest, I think that's kind of where it started, really, and then they just the challenges they did spiraled out of control until you had those massive special ones. Right, Duxford is up ahead of us somewhere. Was that one of the hangars I just saw load in there? I think it might be. Which was the one where May sleeps in a tent and then they like hook it onto a crane and lift it into the air while he's asleep. That was the River Kwai one. Ah, gotcha. Alright, props full. Yes, I can see it. I can see the American Air Hall over there. Lovely. There she blows. Right, run across Wind Lake right now. We'll turn up, go around, and then land towards the south. And this scenery, trust me, it doesn't look like much from the air, because the Sim's very good at not loading in all the little details to save on performance, but trust me, it looks fucking mental good when you're on the ground. Gonna go gear down. Laps. This is the place I've flown out of in real life. The one time I've flown a plane for real, it was here. So as you can imagine, this all looks a little extra familiar. Although we landed in the opposite direction on that day. Shot that a little bit, but that's okay. Flaps down. They landed a B-52 here once upon a time, and the Concorde on this little runway. Relatively little runway anyway. Seems pretty big when you're sat on it in a tiny Cessna, admittedly, but as runways go, it's not a very long one. It's actually an incredibly short one. There's actually, technically, there's two official runways here. There's this one, and then there's a grass strip off to our right-hand side. And admittedly, in real life, they don't typically bother to go all the way to the end and then go off on the taxiway. They just go straight across the grass. But the ground friction in Microsoft Flight Sim is a bit wonky, and I think if we try to go across the grass, we'd treat it like quicksand. So we're not going to do that. Just gonna use the actual taxiway. But in real life, when we landed, we just landed, got about halfway down the runway there, and then just went straight across the grass over to the apron. Yes, that is a tank. Yes, that is another tank. Down standby. Strobe. Hey, what's going on with the brakes here? That's better. Fuel pumps off. Oh, I think I've put them on high. That's the off position. Oops. Well, the ramp is definitely not this empty in real life. It's covered in planes usually. We'll go on to the end here and then park up. And there aren't a bunch of marshals stood out on the grass either in real life. Park right up here next to the actual shed they run classic wings out of, which is the flying club here. There we go. Parking brake on. Let's see. Pitot heat off, avionics off. And cut the engines. Job done. Welcome to Duxford, everybody. Turn all this off with the crash bars. How long was that flight? 1 minute, 1 hour 39 minutes in total airborne. Apparently, well, with the engines running, because we did stop at Southend, didn't we? But yeah, we're all good. It looks like. Passenger comfort index is at 0 for some reason. I don't know why. I pretty much ignore that because who cares? Status. Inspect. Did I break anything? The oil supply for the right engine. We need to top up the oil on the right engine a bit at some point soon, it looks like. Spark plugs are no worse than they were on the right engine. The cylinders are a bit worse, though. Wonder why that is. Did I just run it a bit hot for a while? Maybe that's it. Lean the engine mixture a little bit too much. Cool. Nice to keep. I do enjoy keeping track of that stuff, so. It's like the right gear is in slightly worse condition than the left for some reason. Cool. Right. Thanks, cat. You just knocked the mouse mat off the table. Thanks, buddy. Is it in your way? I'm so sorry for the inconvenience, Colin. I'll wedge it underneath him now. There we go. You silly pusscat. What you like, eh? With chucking my things around. Right. Let's have a look around, shall we? Let's go to the drone camera view. So, welcome to... Ah, I left the fucking flaps down. Oh well. We better fix that, because I just remembered that it'll be like that the next time I load in, won't it? If I don't fix it, so... Battery on. I think the flaps are electric, so There we go. Job done. I'll tell you what, actually, we should probably put on the, you know, all the other stuff. Take the baggage out. And then, here we go, engine covers, intake covers, pitot, wheel chocks, and control lock. So we don't get birds nesting inside the engine cowling or anything silly like that. Cool. So here we are. Anyway, like I said, in real life, this up all the way up down this is just full of planes. Little GA planes on this side of the fence. That side of the fence is the museum, this side is the aerodrome, so... You go round here, you go through the shed, generally, I think. And then out the other side, but check it out. The gates automatically open for you on this scenery when you go near them, which is pretty neat. And they've done all the signs in high enough resolution you can actually read them. Classic wings flights. You can do all sorts here, actually. You obviously go for a fly in a regular GA plane like that, which is the cheapest option, but you can also go in a de Havilland Rapide. Like on the picture there, you can fly in a Spitfire if you're really rich. Apparently this is quite up to date because they've got COVID-19 precautions on the side there. Is there a sign around here, perhaps? Oh, there you go, look, fly wing to wing with a Spitfire. If you're wealthy enough, you can actually fly in the back of a two-seater Spitfire, which is something that's certainly on my bucket list. Flying a Tiger Moth, wouldn't mind doing that either, actually, come to think of it. It's all very expensive, though. If you've got spare couple of grand sitting around, you could do the Spitfire, but otherwise, no. Then you've got all these big planes out here, and these big old airliners here. These are pretty much responsible for my modern day obsession with the things. It's from seeing these as a kid, and believe me, they're a lot bigger in real life. At least they feel a lot bigger in real life. There's the old Vickers Viscount. It was one of the few British airlines to succeed in the American market. It was quite a success, this little thing. Little, he says. It's got 4 frickin' engines. That's an airspeed ambassador. How expensive? Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. I think last time I checked, I think I have a vague figure of like 4 grand in my head, I think, to ride in the Spitfire, but I'm not sure. Britain Norman BN2A Trilander. I don't remember this the last time I went there. This must be a new edition, because I don't remember this thing from any previous visits to the place. Weird plane, though, eh? Look at that. It's a tri-engine prop with one of them on the tail. It's so strange. Huh. This is the big old Britannia. In monarch colours. Very nice. This is the BAE 146. Which is... I think this is one of the ones, judging by the paint job, I think this is one of the ones that the Queen used to use. This is one of the ones operated by the royal family, if I recall. I actually have this for Microsoft Flight Sim, the 146. I got that from Just Flight. It's pretty fun to fly, actually. This is the VC-10. This is one of my favourite planes of all time, because it is just so gorgeous. 4 stonking great big Rolls-Royce Conway jet engines on the back. It was, when it was still operating, the fastest way to cross the Atlantic Ocean, with the exception of Concorde. This thing. It wasn't much of a commercial success, though, which is why they didn't stick around for very long. $3K for a 30-minute flight in the Spitfire. It's gotten cheaper! My God! I'm sure it used to be $4K. There's the Trident 2. It was Britain's earlier version of the Boeing 727, effectively. It was not as successful. That's the BAC 111, which was actually was quite successful, this thing, I think. Designed and built entirely in Britain, the BAC 111 was the last all-British jet airliner and one of the most successful, with 244 sold, including to the USA. Yeah, there were quite a few American airlines that operated this thing, which is unusual because for the general rule of thumb is that Americans don't buy British planes. Never have, rarely ever do, with the exception of this thing and the 146 down there. I mean, yeah, to be fair, like to flying an actual, honest to goodness Spitfire, it's not that unreasonable, is it? I mean, some people spend more money than that on their computers, but still, it's not exactly spare change, is it? So, let's go to the end. Start at the end. Give you the tour. So all the way at the end, this is sort of in reverse order to how you'd actually visit the place, because the entrance is all the way behind me, down the other end. But this is the land warfare hall they've got up here, which they've got which is just full of tanks basically, loads and loads and loads of tanks. Some really really cool like World War I and World War II exhibits in there, full of vehicles and tanks and all sorts of shit. Really really cool. Probably one of the best parts of the Odd Time Museum. This actually. You can see a few of them parked out the back here as well. I don't know if they actually have a couple of Abrams tanks in real life and a Leopard. It's been ages since I've been up here before. I don't remember. They always have different stuff parked outside the back anyway. But there's some stuff around the side there and all. That's the Land Warfare Hall. Then you go down this way. Except for site transport. Entrance to the American Air Museum. Oh yeah. There's also, I think there's a war memorial here. Oh yeah, the East Anglian Regiment. War memorial and... oh yeah, there's Blast Pen as well. Which it mentions is part of historic Duxford. It's part of the original aerodrome back in World War II. There's the memorial here from the Royal Anglian Regiment and the East Anglian Regiments who died whilst on duty. It's got all the names on here and everything. As recently as 2013, apparently. And you go back right here. And it's super windy here, by the way, as well. Like, because it's just a big open flat field, all of this. It's just super friggin' windy the entire time you're walking around. You head up here. And this is the American Air Museum. There's a way, you can get in via the front and also via the back here. As you can see. All the stuff. They've got a V2 here. I think it's a replica V2. Along with a section of launch rail. Quite well modelled, actually. Let's see. German Second World War cruise missile fired at Britain during 1944 to 45. Although the V1 Vergeltungswaffe reprisal weapon looks like a small aircraft, it was in fact a pilotless missile or flying bomb developed for use against London. Hitler hoped that V1s and V2 rockets would exact retribution for the Allied bombing of German cities over the course of the war. And alter the course of the war. Most V1s are fired from steam-driven ramps like this one. Then self-propelled to their target by an Argus pulse jet motor. Preset controls guided the missiles to their target area where they dived to Earth and automatically exploded, causing widespread damage. Over 10,000 V1s were launched against England, but many were destroyed by anti-aircraft guns or fighters. Although over 3,000 V1s got through the defences and killed over 20,000 people in London and other British cities. I remember my granddad telling me about these, because my granddad lived in London during the war as a kid. And he said the worst thing about them was that you could hear them coming, but when you really had to take cover is when you suddenly heard them stop, because the motor would cut out before they actually hit the ground. So you'd hear one of these things flying overhead, and as long as you could hear the engine, you were probably okay. But as soon as it stopped and cut out, that was when you had to hit the dirt. Yeah, there we go. Displayed on a section of the ramp used to launch the bomb into the air. The complete ramp was nearly 140 feet, 42 meters long, angled at 6 degrees, so it went off way into the distance. Anyway, these controls are really awkward to use. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. They even included all the placards so you can read them. It's just, this scenery is bonkers. This is the memorial, this is the American Memorial, dedicated to all airmen who flew in the Second World War. US aircraft lost from flying from UK bases, and each, yeah, you got USAAF, 8th Air Force, 9th Air Force, and US Navy. And each plane on one of these, I don't know what you call them, these glass panels here, but each plane on one of these represents an aircraft that was lost during the war, an American one, operating out of the UK. I live down the road from Grafton Underwood, which is where a lot of these flew from. It's an airsoft arena nowadays, actually, but it was an airbase during the war. And as you can see, that's a lot of planes. It's a lot of dudes killed. I think in the on the actual memorial in real life, there are different planes on it. Like, these are all B-17s, but I think on the actual memorial, it's different. They've put different aircraft silhouettes to represent the different ones that were shot down. And then you go in through the back there into the museum, and it's basically this just huge semicircle dome, and inside they've got tons and tons and tons of aircraft, all American. That's the idea, basically. It's the section of the museum dedicated entirely to the US Air Force and US Navy, etc. And you can see some of it on the front texture here. They've got a P-47 hanging from the ceiling. They've got a B-29. They have a B-52 in there, which they actually landed at this place in the 90s, I think. There's a video of it on YouTube of the thing landing at Duxford, and it just plonks down super hard on the runway at one end and then just goes into maximum reverse thrust to stop in time. It's a mental video. But, you see, this is extra difficult because the cat is using up so much real estate on the desk. I don't have a lot of room to move the mouse. Anyway, yeah, there's loads of stuff in there. There's a B-17 in there, B-25. There's a C-47 hanging from the ceiling. It's fantastic. There's a Phantom in there. There's a whole Vietnam section as well, so... You go down this way, you got the other hangars and stuff. What else is there? Oh yeah, there's the big coastal gun. Over here next to the toilets. Rather ignominiously. Big coastal defense gun, 9.2 inch. So, in terms of like naval calibers, not even that big, but it's gigantic, frankly. As the CEO of Colin Airways, he can do as he pleases. I suppose he can. So what's this? Oh, it's just a signpost thing. This is... Which one's this? Is this the Battle of Britain one? I think. Oh, there you go. Concorde. Open 10:30 till 3. Yep, Concorde's in the hangar all the way at the end there. This is the... Oh, this is the Conservation Hangar. Right, yeah, this is where they're... In this hangar, you can go in and have a look around, but this is the hangar where they have all the aircraft they're currently in the process of restoring. You know, and bringing back to either, you know, display standards or either to make them airworthy again. So you go in there and you walk through it like it's a museum exhibit, but it's also like an active, actual maintenance hangar. And you go through there and there's dudes just sitting around working on planes and stuff in there. It's great. So one of the original World War II hangars as well. Like this one here. This one is this is the Battle of Britain one, so it's all Battle of Britain related stuff in this one. And you go a bit further down here. There's the Spitfire. And then Hangar 3, which is air and sea. So it's sort of like... they have a whole mix of stuff in here. I think some helicopters. I remember them having a Soviet Hind in there at one point. Yeah, Navy fleet air arm stuff, all sorts in there actually. I think there's I think they have a submarine in there as well actually. Like a midget submarine if I recall. Yeah, there's a few bits in there. I think there's a PT boat as well, possibly a German one. I'm not sure. I don't remember totally. I think they have a World War II PT boat in there as well. And a big... They also have a big... I don't know if it's still there, but I assume it is. They have a big, huge slab of battleship belt armor that I think they cut off a cruiser or something that's in there as well. Just so you can see how big and thick it was. Then you go around here, and then this one is the Conservation Hangar or something. I forget. No, this is where they put all the ones that still fly. That's it. I remember now. Yeah, flying aircraft. So this is where they put all the planes that can still actually fly are in these hangars. So lots of Spitfires and whatnot to be found in there. Everything in that hangar can actually still fly. It's still airworthy. And then you go along here, and then there's the kiddies play area. There's a cafe next to it. And then you got Hangar 1, or Airspace as it's known nowadays. It used to be a completely different hangar. I remember they replaced it when I was a teenager with this new one. And this is the one that's got Concorde in it, among other things. Obviously, they've not modelled the insides of any of these, but you can get a sense of the scale of it, and from the inside, it's absolutely massive. It's actually divided in part. There's sort of like a partition somewhere along here-ish. And I remember coming through, and you can see through a window into what they're working into. This sort of there's like a large sort of private space here where you visitors can't go, but you can look in through the window. And I remember last time I looked in there, they had like a Victor or something in there. And the rest of this is all, you know, museum stuff, and Concorde is sort of nestled on at the end here. And that's the gift shop. If you care. Some other bits too, though. If we go back down this way. Takes ages to get from one end of the place to the other, admittedly, because it's friggin' massive. And we're getting around quite quickly because I'm using the epic drone cam that makes us run at Usain Bolt speeds, but this place is huge in real life. When they have an air show on, like the Flying Legends air show, which I've not been to in years, mostly thanks to COVID, but they have all of this along here is like market stalls and stuff. People selling aviation-related merchandise and, you know, army surplus stuff and all sorts of things. It's like this whole sort of tarmac area all the way along here turns into a massive marketplace. There's the restaurant. We go past out here. Down this way, around the back of this hangar, you can get to some other interesting bits. Like this here. So this is the ops block. So you go around here, you go through these, past these funny shaped hedges, which were basically designed to, you know, cushion the place from bomb blasts during the war. You go through there, and you go into there, and that's where the operations room is from during the war, where it's basically the big room with the big table map of the southeast UK, where they pushed all the you know, all the tokens around on the tables to keep track of where all the flights were during the middle of the Battle of Britain and so on and so forth. That's where the old ops room is, back in there. That's it. Pretty much, that's the tour. But this scenery is just bloody bonkers. You can download this all for free off of flightsim.to, which is an awesome website where there's loads and loads of freeware, sceneries and aircraft skins and loads of good stuff you can download. But this scenery is something else, man. It's ridiculous. It's just completely recreated the place in the virtual world here in Microsoft Flight Sim. It's bonkers. It's down to every last bloody bench and bin. And the placards and the signs and stuff is completely absurd. But yeah. Here we are. Ladies and gents, it's been a fun stream. I've enjoyed this. Oh god, I'm getting all my camera views screwed up again. There we go. It's been fun. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. Just a little flight around my local neck of the woods, pointing out some landmarks and things and finishing it off here. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, because I sure as hell did. That was really cool. Next time I fly this will probably be somewhere a little bit more exotic, but it was nice to go around, see some familiar sights, I guess. Yeah. Right, so like I said, tomorrow I'll be back with probably Dragon Age. I can't think of anything else I'd rather do tomorrow, so yeah, probably be starting Dragon Age tomorrow. Usual sort of time. We started a bit early today, actually, but usual sort of time, so, 5 o'clock-ish UK time. I really ought to memorize when that is in US time to make it easier for people to remember over on that side of the Atlantic, but anyway. It's been fun, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. If I'm not going to be able to catch you tomorrow, I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And yeah, I'll see you when I see you, I guess. Alright, cheers, folks. There we go. Toodaloo.